Howdy, Internet. So today we're starting on the project. I don't think we're gonna get super far on it, but I need to make a fume extractor for my shop here. It's 0 degrees outside right now, so opening the big door and opening my big vent fan is just not a good option. And a commercial, not even a commercial grade, any fume extractor worth buying starts at about $1,500. That's just not in the budget right now. I do a fair bit of welding in here, and right now I only do arc welding, so there just is a lot of smoke. I also work on old rusty stuff all the time, so I'm going nuts with the grinder, and that fills it up with smoke in here a lot, dust. And I'm just sick of it. This is not working for me. So the other day I went to the store and got a handful of goodies. I got some of these or DuPont filters. The big thing that I was looking for is that they will take out smoke, smog, things like that. I got 3 of them after thinking about it. I either should have gotten 4 of them or only 2 of them, but we got an extra one in case it goes wrong. We got some 6" by 8" flexible, semi-rigid aluminum duct. We got a couple of these riser pieces, a couple of adapters. The thing that makes all of this possible is gonna be this Menards special 8" portable ventilator. I've seen quite a few YouTube videos of people using these with similar types of setup, but mostly to pump air completely out of their shop. I can do that. Behind this wall is my wife's side of the garage. She's got a single stall where she parks her car that's not insulated and not heated. I could rig this up to vent over there and run it through some sort of filter system and have that work well. The downside is I'm sucking all of the heat out of this space. I don't really want to create much negative pressure in here. So if possible, I don't know if this is going to work yet, but if possible, I want to filter everything inside here, keep it inside the side of the shop. If it cuts down 70-80% of the smoke in here when I'm welding, that's plenty good enough. Doesn't have to be perfect, just needs to be an improvement. Behind the camera, I got some 2x4 left over from another project. I've got a couple pieces of MDF back here left over from making my workbench. I've got some more scraps in the shed if I need it, but I'll kind of draw this out and try and show you what I'm thinking here. Please excuse my not great drawing skills I got here. I'm not a visual artist by any means, but the basic idea is we're going to make a box. And that box, bumping the camera stand here, this side and this side are gonna have filters on them. This side and this back side are gonna be solid. The bottom will be solid and the top will be solid. The top though is gonna have a hole, and that vent blower deal is gonna be sitting straight up and down on top, blowing air into the box. Then my flexible tubing can kind of get routed wherever it needs to and pull air in. The things that I'm not sure about whether this is going to work or not is, will the fan be able to create enough positive pressure inside the box for air to want to escape? There's the chance that these filters that I have are just going to be a little bit, they won't let enough air flow for this to work well. Certainly air is going to be cycling through this thing, but will it create vacuum at the end of this so that I can capture enough of the smoke for it to be worth setting this thing up and turning it on every time I'm welding? I also realized after the fact I need to get some casters for this thing because I want it to be just basically a box that rolls around, and I can just stick it in the corner and bring it over to the bench when I'm ready to start welding something. So that's the basic idea. These filters are 20 by 20. So this box, one side is going to be 20 by 20, but then this dimension is probably only going to be wide enough that the fan sits on it nice. I'm guessing that's going to be somewhere in the 12-inch ballpark, and that helps make sure that I have enough material for all of this to work. But I'm going to get the fan here unboxed and take a look at it and see what dimensions we're working with on that, and kind of start rough assembling things here. The 20 by 20 by 12 I think is going to work pretty well for this. The flange face of this is about 8 3/4. Another thing to check here, I got 2 of these adapters to go from 6-inch to 8-inch, and I'm seeing how well they fit. I wish it was a little bit different. This would fit together a little bit better, but it's certainly going to work for what we're doing here. I think it'll work just fine. So let's measure out some MDF and cut a few pieces. I'm gonna turn this thing on and see what exactly it does and how much air it seems to move. We'll try it on low and then we'll try it on high. It's not a very well balanced motor. It's got a bit of a shape to it, but for what we're asking of it, I think it should be just fine. So this gets us to the point where we can put in the strips on the inside to hold the filters in. Then the next thing will be attaching some of the adapters and building it up from there. I'm not sure what I'm going to work on next. I might take a break here because it's just about 5 o'clock and I'd like to spend some time with my wife if she's home yet. So I'll see if I keep working on this yet tonight or if it ends up being a new day. Well, that's the first time I can put it all together. I did one side of the blocking it here off camera, did the other one on, so you can see what was going on, but that's basically what it's gonna be. I have to figure out some tabs. I've got some scrap aluminum. Looks like I've got more than enough to do this, but I'll probably do tabs on either side with a screw to hold this in, and then springs or something to keep pressure on those tabs. And hopefully that will hold the filters in just fine. So when I get back to this, I will make up all those tabs, get the fan mounted on here, and I'll do a test with just the blower, some of the flex hose, and the filters on here, just to make sure that it's all gonna work the way that I hope it does, because if it doesn't, I'm not going to keep messing around with it. I'll think of a different way to work on this, but it's good to get this far. This is some real progress. I got to pick up casters from Menards when I have a chance. And yeah, real quick here, we'll have a Fume Extractor and fingers crossed it works. Welcome back. I'm going to keep working on this Fume Extractor here. It took a minute to kind of think about how I wanted this all to work out, how I wanted these filters to get held in. I think the solution I have, I might have talked about this previously, but a screw with a spring. I've got some aluminum here. I'll cut little 1/2-inch tabs with a hole drilled into it, and they'll basically be able to swing out, and the spring will be applying pressure on them. And that's how I'll capture. I'll do one on all 4 sides, and then on the other side of this as well. So I'm gonna get to it, cut out a bunch of strips, and try it on one side, and hopefully it all works. The hacksaw worked a lot better than the grinder, but we still got a lot of material, sharp edges, so I don't have a better way of doing this. The bench grinder seems like it makes more of a mess of this stuff than just doing it by hand, so I'll knock these out by hand really quick and then drill some holes in them. I need to see if I've got any small washers to help hold these springs onto these screws. I think that's perfect. Really easy to pop these off and stick a new filter in. Next thing on the agenda is caster wheels. I got 4 of them. I just need to drill out holes, pop these through and stick a bolt on them. I'm really appreciating the tape that they used for these. It actually comes off the thread, it doesn't glue itself on there, which is a chronic problem. I don't know why places do that. It's just stupid. Well, that's pretty cool. See, it all seems to work. It's not a great fit in some of the corners. I might need to do some foam gasket or something to hold it all in there, but it doesn't need to catch all the smoke. It just needs to catch most of it. I'm just going to duct tape it for now, and if it works, maybe I'll do something better. But that seems to be the way. It's temporary unless it works. That's pulling quite the vacuum still, so we're going to stick on our little bit here and weld a piece of metal and just see how it goes. Of course it doesn't want to fit. if I knew of a better way, I would do it that way. This is not working well. I'm not going to prep this material at all. I'm just going to weld straight on it because that'll generate quite a bit of smoke. And try and get this in a spot where it should catch a lot of the smoke, so I'll fire everything up and we'll give this a test. Well, I am amazed at how well this worked right out of the get-go. For my purposes, like, perfect. Definitely saw some things that need improving a little bit. This, because it's not attached at all to the box, it just kind of slides over, and if it slides over, it opens a gap, and then it's not pulling through our hose here. So what I'm gonna do, I like that it kind of rotates a little bit. I think that's a good feature for my purposes, but I'm gonna grab a couple little wood blocks and maybe screw in 4 of them on the sides so that this still just is sitting loose on there, but then it can't slide out of place as much and stays right where I want it. So I'm gonna get this welder stuff packed up and out of the way so that I can get that done. Well, honestly, I do not think this could have gone better for the utility that I need for it. The price point, I think the filters were $10 a piece. The fan was the expensive part. It was, I think, $80. Stuff is just really expensive these days. I can't remember how much this was. $10, $15, I think somewhere in that range. The 8 to 6 inch adapter was maybe $8. I got more than I needed. I have a whole nother adapter, and I've got some extension pieces that I just don't think I'm gonna use. The way this all kind of shaped out, I think this is how I'm gonna leave it for the moment. The MDF for me was free, but you could basically use anything. This is 3/4 inch MDF. Makes it relatively sturdy, and it makes it pretty heavy, so I'm not worried about this thing tipping over. That was a concern I had when I was kind of first setting it up, because it's not a square, but I think with the weight that it is, you know, even giving pretty good tugs on this, it's not upsetting the base at all. I think someone could get a little more sophisticated about the duct tape, but you know, it's only temporary unless it works. So that'll stay the way that it is until it stops working. If we have any issues, maybe a spark guard would be a good inclusion on this. I could see this lighting on fire. I don't anticipate it doing that, but I think that is something to be like cautious of if you're welding or grinding or doing anything with this. We're using it for fume extraction, and you've got a lot of sparks that are getting sucked up into this. It's wood burns, but yeah, definitely the utility of it, 100%. The maybe $150 I have into this, you know, it's excluding my time, but my time is free for doing this sort of thing, and commercial fume extractor is not free, so I want to get this thing cleaned up, get the dust blown off of it, clean up the rest of the shop because I've made a bit of a mess all around me, and I can start thinking about getting to the next project. So thanks for watching.